Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine avatara varisthaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha. Now I am going to speak on the subject practice of Nama Japa, Japa Sadhana. There are three aspects of spiritual practices, mainly, especially in our order. Prarthana, Japa and Dhyana. Dhyana, Japa, Prarthana. That is what normally we speak about. We don't emphasize much about other different kinds of Kundalini Yoga, Hatha Yoga, all other things. We are mainly concentrated on three important aspects of our spiritual life. One is Prarthana, another is Japa, another is meditation. In Prarthana, in prayer, we use many words. I mean, when we are praying, we use normally many words. For example, please give me Jnana, Bhakti, Viveka, Vairagya. Give me Shraddha, give me devotion, give me purity, power, strength. All these things, different words you use by praying to God. Then, when you come to Japa, words are reduced. Only one word, only name of the Lord, the mantra only remains. Then, if you move on to further sadhana, that is meditation, dhyana, that word also stops. There will be no word. Only the one thought would be there related to our Ishtadevata. Only one thought. One thought related to our object of meditation. All the words will stop. So that is how from many words to one word to no word. This is how our sadhana proceeds. Spiritual practice proceeds. Now today we are concentrating on only Japa. As you are very familiar with Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, Yajnanam Japa Yajñosmi. Among all the different kinds of yajnas, there are so many yajnas are spoken in Vedas. Ashwamedha Yaga, Putrakameshti Yaga, Agnihotra, so many hundreds of yajnas are there. And the different kinds of Bhagavad Gita also speaks so many different kinds of yajnas. Among all the yajnas, I am the Japa Yajna, he says. The Lord says, I am the Japa Yajna. That means Japa is the highest form of yajna. Highest form of yajna. In Japa, while doing the Japa, in the heart we do it. When it becomes the part of our heart, our feeling, what happens, our heart itself becomes the yajna kunda. And doing the Japa, there in that, in the heart we go on repeating the mantra constantly. That is the fire. That is the fire. And in that fire, the oblation is made. What are the oblations? All our impurities of the mind, all our ego, all our shortcomings, all our defects, everything is poured into that, in that fire. So like that, when what happens, that means when we are doing the Japa with our heart, with our feelings, with our consciousness, with our awareness and all that, then what happens, it itself becomes a yajna, and it purifies the mind. All the impurities are burnt away. Burnt away. So that is how Japa has got its own effect on the personality. It purifies the mind. That is what all the great saints who achieved great in spiritual life speak about. Now, as Nityasthanandaji says, as Sri Ramakrishna also says, there is a close connection between the Nama and Nami. Nama and Nami. And Nami means one who represented by the Nama. That it may be any Ishtadevata, any form of God. They are one and the same. That's what Sri Ramakrishna also says. And there is a very intimate connection between the name and also the person. Because the name, very important thing. Man normally identifies himself with his own name. What happens, when in a group, if somebody is there, you want to call somebody in a group, if you call his name, immediately he will respond. Immediately, because he is so much, keen on that. So much identified with his name, immediately he hears and responds to it. So name has got its own effect. So if you are able to remember the name of a particular person, he feels very happy. If you forget his name, he feels very sad. For example, if you very, very closely associated person is there, if you go on asking his name again and again, he feels very bad. So you must be able to, if you remember his name, even after so many years of acquaintance, if you are able to remember his name and call him, he feels very happy, elated. So that means name is so closely associated with the person. He identifies himself with his name. So that is why the God also, God's name also is like that. There is Nityasthanandaji narrates a very nice joke. One person goes to the magistrate and complains to him, "Sir, such and such a person calls me," angrily he says, very with great annoyance he says, "Such and such a person calls me rhinoceros, rhinoceros." Oh, then the magistrate asked, "When did he called you like that?" Then he said, 5 years back. "Then why are you coming and complaining now?" Then he said, "At that time I did not know the meaning of the rhinoceros. Now I come to know about it." Immediately he got terribly annoyed when he came to know about it. So that is why that name has got its own effect. Any name. If my name is called in a differently distorted way, he feels very bad. Really, I feel very bad. Sometimes when you go to different functions, they do like that. All sorts of things they will say. They will not be able to pronounce my name properly. So that is how it happens. It's because we are closely associated with the name, our name. So that is why name has got its own effect. Now we come to the conclusion. We come to the one particular concept that is spoken of in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. That is, what is Japa? What is Japa? He defines Japa as Tajjapaha Tadartha Bhavanam. Tajjapaha Tadartha Bhavanam. Earlier sutra, it is a sutra, earlier sutra says, he speaks about Ishvara, God, and Tasya Vachakaha Pranavaha, he says, Tasya Vachakaha Pranava, that representative name of that God, Ishvara, is Omkara. Omkara. Pranavaha, Tasya Vachakaha Pranavaha. And next sutra says, Tajjapaha Tadartha Bhavanam. Tajjapan means here one has to repeat the Omkara. Constantly repeat Om. Then while repeating that one, we have to think of Ishvara, Tadartha. The Artha means the object represented by that name. That is Artha. So, you have to think of the object represented, that is Ishvara. You have to think of Omkara, repeat the Omkara and think of God. Repeat the Omkara, think of God. This is Tajjapaha Tadartha Bhavanam. That is the meaning of Tajjapaha Tadartha Bhavanam. This applies to all other different mantras also. There are different mantras are there. Om Namah Shivaya is there, Om Namo Narayanaya is there. So many, related to different Ishtadevatas, chosen deities. Names are there. Sri Ramakrishna also is called, has his own mantra. So that means there also same thing applies. You have to repeat that name and also think of the chosen deity represented by that name. If you are repeating the Om Namah Shivaya, you have to think of Shiva. You have to think of Shiva. So in the mind you have to think of Shiva and go on repeating the Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. So that is how japa is to be done. That's what it is said, There is in Yoga Shastra, there is one particular important concept is there, what is called Shabda Artha Pratyaya. Shabda Artha Pratyaya. Shabda, Artha and Pratyaya. Shabda means the name related to any particular object or a person or an animal, whatever that may be. That is Shabda. Name related to any particular object. And object itself is called Artha. Name is the Shabda, object itself is the Artha, and Pratyaya means there is a knowledge of the Pratyaya means knowledge of the object in the mind. I know it. That is Pratyaya. There are three things are there. One is name, another is Artha, name represented by the name, and also the knowledge of the Artha that is in the mind. Three things are there. Take for example any object, maybe the table or a cow or whatever that may be. Cow is the word. Cow is the word, Shabda. It can be in English or Kannada or English or whatever may be the language that is immaterial. That name is there. Shabda is there. And outside the object is there, cow is there. Object cow is there. That animal is there. And I can think of the animal in the mind. I can have the picture of that animal in the mind. That is also in the mind. I know that cow is there, standing there. I know it. That is Pratyaya. Knowledge of the cow within me. And awareness of the cow outside. And also it can be inside also. I may think of the cow within, object cow within. And also I utter the word cow. And also I know I am thinking of cow, that Pratyaya is there, that idea of cow is there in my mind. That is Pratyaya. So this is always very closely associated, these things. The moment I think of cow, that prani, that animal, immediately word cow comes to my mind. Or hasu comes to my mind. Or go comes to my mind. That word comes to my mind. And also I know, I say, yes, I am seeing that cow. I am seeing that cow. Within me, not outside. It may be, object may not be always outside. It can be within also, within my mind also. So that is why all these three things are always closely associated. Very closely associated. So here, for example, in the name of the God, name of the Lord, in a particular name. Take for example Shiva. Om Namah Shivaya is there. Mantra is there. That is the name of the Shiva. And Shiva, the deity, is there. And also the idea of Shiva is there in my mind. All these three things are very closely associated. You can't separate it. Then what happens, if you go on practicing meditation, etc., for a long time, the Shabda and also the Pratyaya drops away, only Artha remains. Artha Matra Nirbhasa. That's what uh, Yoga Sutra says, Artha Matra Nirbhasa, it is a deep state of concentration. That I am seeing that cow, I am seeing that object, I am thinking of that, that also drops away. The Shabda, name also drops away. I will not be able to repeat Om Namah Shivaya anymore. That also drops away. Only the Shiva remains. Only form of Sri Ramakrishna remains. Very vivid, very luminous, that remains. Everything will drop away. That I consciousness also will drop away. I am seeing that pratyaya. That pratyaya means I know it. I know it. That is pratyaya. That also will go. I also is dropped. The Shabda also is dropped. Artha only remains. Only Artha remains. That's a very high state of meditation. Of course, now what happens, what we have to do, constantly repeat the mantra of the particular deity, and constant repetition of this will transform the whole personality, purifying all the aspects of the mind, purifying all the aspects of the mind. That is why mantra has got its own very positive effect on the system. When we are able to study some neurological ideas about these things, every spiritual practice, japa, etc., japa, prarthana, etc., will have its own effect on the nervous system, it seems. It changes the nervous system completely. Through the changing of the nervous system, it changes the personality. It's going to be demonstrated. They demonstrate it through computer nowadays, because so many tests are there, MRI, fMRI, so many things are there. Through all those things, they will be able to demonstrate this before you. While doing the japa, what happens? What is the change that is taking place in the brain, in the neural system? They can demonstrate it. You can see it. You can see it through the, through screen, on the screen, how the change is taking place. So that is why japa has got, definitely it has got its own effect in the personality, on the personality. So that is why they are emphasizing the mantra japa and giving so much of importance to these things. How japa can transform the personality? That is a very, there is a deep psychological aspects in this. It is spoken of in the tantras also. For example, each japa, as you all know, consists of a bija mantra. That bija mantra represents the particular deity on which we are doing the japa. Particular deity, the Ishta Devata. Every Ishta Devata, for example, according to the Tantra, everything is in a set of vibration. Everything. Even science also speaks about that. For example, the table also is in a set of vibration. We think table is jada, table is jada. No, it is not jada. Every particle in this table, minute particles in this table, is constantly moving, constantly changing. While changing and moving, it produces a particular sound. I don't hear it. I don't hear it. My ordinary ear cannot hear it. It has got its own sound. Every object has got its own sound. For example, a beat like this, that is not table sound. It's not table sound. Table has got its own sound. Our ordinary ear, I will not be able to hear that. Every object in this world, every person in this world, everything in this world is in a set of vibration, and that vibration is always producing some sound. My personality also has got its own vibration, according to my own samskaras and all that, my own thinking, my own qualities and all that. Depending upon that, I have got my own, different set of vibration. Every one of you are in a state of vibration. So that is why even Ishta Devata also is in a set of vibration. They all remain in a particular plane of consciousness. with their own vibration. Sri Ramakrishna also is in a state of particular plane of consciousness, and he has got his own vibration. Shiva, Rama, Krishna consciousness they say, Christ consciousness they speak about. There are different states of consciousness, vibrations, different sets of vibration. Doing japa, what happens, gradually changes my own state of vibration, and it becomes, consonant with the vibrations of the Ishta Devata on which I am doing the japa. Bija mantra, Bija mantra is said to be representing that particular vibration of the deity. You know about Ganesha, there is a particular Bija mantra is there. That Kali, particular Bija mantra is there. Like that, there are Shakti, there is a particular Bija mantra is there. So that Bija mantra represents the real vibration of that particular deity. The yogis hear it, it seems. Because of the hearing of that particular Bija mantra, that particular sound of that vibration, they prescribed that particular Bija mantra for each and every deity. So our mantras also consists of Bija mantra. That Bija mantra represents that particular vibration of the set of vibration in which they are there, the deity is there. So when doing the japa, what happens, gradually my own vibration will change. Gradually my own vibration will change, will become consonant with the vibrations of my Ishta Devata. That means raising my consciousness to the level of Ishta Devata. That is the effect of the japa that takes place. That is the effect of it. It is something like, to give a crude example, is the tuning process. In prayer hall, while doing the, before prayer, they go on tuning the tabla. Tabla is to be tuned according to the tune of the harmonium, according to the singer in which he sings. So he should go on, tuning like this, beating and beating and beating, till it comes very close with the vibrations of the sound of the shruti, of the harmonium in which the singer sings. So that is how this becoming one with that vibration. When my own vibration becomes one with the vibrations of the consciousness of the Ishta Devata, what happens? All his bhavas will manifest within me. So japat, Ishta Devata sampraptihi, they say. Ishta Devata samprapti. Samprayogaha, Ishta Devata samprayogaha. So Ishta Devata samprayogaha means I am becoming one with that Ishta Devata, vibration of the Ishta Devata. It is not that I completely lose my individuality in that. Yatishwaranji says, through the path of japa, one reaches the one's Ishta Devata. And that nama, the Shabda, he says Shabda, he calls Shabda, path of Shabda, Shabda Patha. So following the Shabda Patha, one reaches the one's own Ishta Devata. And going beyond the Shabda, he reaches the ultimate reality Paramatma. We are going beyond that. That is how gradually the name, that is Shabda, that is takes to the ultimate reality. That is why this Shabda has got its own. Even some of the names, it may be related to some bad spirit and all that. Even that also it has got its own effect. There is a nice story related to the Madhusudana Saraswati, it seems. I narrated this story many times here also. There is no, I don't think you feel angry with me if I narrated the same story again. Once that Madhusudana Saraswati, initiated by a Sattvika mantra. He was a Krishna Bhakta. great Krishna Bhakta. So he was initiated by Krishna's name, and he was doing the japa, and for 6 months or so he went on doing it, and nothing happened. No transformation took place. He was so much disappointed, so much disappointed. Then somebody told me, you go to that particular mantravadi, sorcerist, mantravadi, you take some japa, he will give some japa on the mantra on the bhuta. So the bhuta will come, very shortly he will come. You don't have to wait for a long time. Shortly it will come, and whatever you want, it will give. Fulfill all your desires. So he went to that particular person, he takes the particular mantra of the bhuta, and all the rituals also he learned from him, and gone start practicing. He said, promised, 6 months if you do it, it's enough. The bhuta will come and fulfill all your desires, he said. So he went on practicing. 6 months are over, 1 year was over. Nothing happened. No bhuta came. No bhuta came. He was so much disappointed, so unhappy. So he goes again to that mantravadi and says, what is this? You told that after 6 months you will be able to get the result of the mantra. But nothing happened. No bhuta is coming. What is this? What is the matter? Why it is so? That mantravadi asked him, were you initiated by a sattvika mantra, Rama or Krishna, something like that, sattvika mantra, before taking this mantra? And yes, he said yes, Krishna mantra I was initiated. Then he said, how many years practiced? 6 years I practiced. Then no bhuta can come near you. No bhuta can near. So much of purification has taken place. So much of transformation has taken place. Then he developed a strong faith in that mantra. So that is why they say you must have that faith. With great faith you must go on repeating the mantra. Then gradually, we should not lose patience. That is very important. If you lose patience, what happens? Mind becomes restless. When the mind becomes restless, your progress gets hampered. So that is why, with patience, one has to do this japa. Having a faith that definitely it is purifying my mind. While doing the japa, they say you have to go on, along with the japa you have to think, yes, it is purifying my body, it is purifying my prana, it is purifying my mind, if it is purifying my emotions, it is purifying my samskaras, all the world samskaras also. So that is why you have to go on contemplating on that aspect also. So along with the repetition of the mantra. That's why when you are able to do this kind of practice constantly for a long time, then the real transformation of the personality will take place. Now about the now about what Holy Mother speaks about the mantra. Holy Mother used to give lot of importance to Nama Japa. Holy Mother says, by constant repetition of mantra, the power of sense organs is subdued. The sense organs loses its sensitivity. That means now what is happening, our sense organs are always thinking of all sorts of things, seeing all sorts of things, hearing all sorts of things, doing all sorts of things. Now what happens, their restlessness is reduced. There, what happens, they lose their own power of thinking all sorts of things, all sorts of ideas. So that is a mind also represents. Mind also is connected with the senses. Mind is considered to be the sixth sense. The senses are controlled. The mind also get controlled. when the mind is controlled, senses also get controlled, because they are very closely associated with each other. So that is why when they go on thinking of the doing the japa with so much of shraddha and all that, mind gets controlled. When the mind gets controlled, then what happens? Senses also are get controlled. Naturally it happens. So then what happens? Then we will not be able to think of so many other things, hear so many also bad things and all that. We are all seeing so many bad things also. That also stops. We don't feel like doing all those things. The power of the senses becomes reduced. Then when the power of the senses becomes reduced, then mind becomes very strong. Now what is happening? Because of the power of the senses, mind is always going out. So much of mental energy is completely dissipated through the sense organs, get dissipated. When the power of the senses are reduced, then what happens? Much of energy is saved, mental energy is saved. Then concentration becomes very intense. Because why we don't get sufficient concentration? Because of the dissipation of the mental energy through the senses. Not only that, we are always seeing the outside things and all that. It's not that even closing our eyes also so many things, sense objects will come to our mind. So many sense objects. Well, particularly, I hear particular sound. Immediately what happens? Mind runs behind it. What is that sound? Who is coming? What is he talking? All these things mind goes on thinking, and from that it jumps from one thought to another, it goes away somewhere else. You will not be knowing where I am going, what I am doing. So that is how the mind, but japa, if you are able to do the japa, in spite of so many restlessness of the mind, if you hold on to the japa constantly with dogged interest, then gradually the wandering of the senses is reduced. When the wandering of the senses is reduced, the mind also becomes more and more calm and quiet. Shanta. So that is why japa has got its own definite effect on our personality system. She further says, as clouds are removed by the wind, the name of God destroys the cloud of worldliness. As the wind, scatters all the clouds that are there in the sky. Similarly, if you go on repeating the mantra japa, if you go on doing, destroys the cloud of the worldliness, he says. Cloud of worldliness is reduced. When the cloud of worldliness is reduced, you will be able to, when the cloud is removed, what happens, we see the sun or the moon or whatever that may be. Similarly, when the clouds are removed from the mind, also worldliness is removed, then you will be able to see our Ishtadevata, chosen deity within ourselves. So that is why Holy Mother says this, by repetition of the mantra, it is something like a wind, it destroys all the clouds of worldliness. Once a devotee asked Holy Mother, what is the upaya? Ki upaya? He asked, Ki upaya? What is the sadhana I have to do? Then Holy Mother said, there was earlier, the clock would be there, not a digital clock like this. Earlier, old clock. See that clock, it goes on doing the sound, tick, 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 like this. Sound is there, constantly it is making sound. Like that, you should go on repeating the mantra, tick, 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 like that. Constant repetition of the mantra you have to do. It is a very beautiful example. It has got its own significance. The tick tick sound, normally we don't hear at the daytime because of the other sounds. On night time, it is very clearly heard, very clearly heard. Even daytime also, if you are able to give attention to it, you will be able to here. So like that, as the tick-tick sound goes on, it must go on within our mind. The tick-tick japa must go on within the mind, constantly. It becomes natural. Naturally it must go on. Every now and then, amidst all these different sounds, and the different means different activities, you have to give attention to it. Hear it, that is going on within it. If it is not going on within it, you have to, raise it. You have to start thinking, doing the japa again. So like that, that means Holy Mother is indicating the japa must become so natural, and it will go on by itself in a natural way. It must go on within ourselves. Japa must go on, mantra japa, and every now and then I have to get back to myself. I have to get back to myself, hear what is going on within. And while doing the japa, we have to think that constantly I have to think that I am sitting here and doing the japa. I must be here. What I am doing, I must be there. That there is, the Buddhists say, when you are washing the dish, you must wash the dish only. That means whatever work I am doing, I must be there. Normally it won't happen. While doing the japa, I will be there somewhere else, not in this world at all, here at all. Here and now I must be. That is japa. Then only it will become more effective. So that is why when sitting japa, while sitting before sitting japa, immediately after sitting japa, I must bring all my attention to the present moment. Yes, I am here and doing the japa. Whether I am here or not, I have to question myself every now and then. Am I here? I am sitting here and doing japa, or somewhere else? Oh yes, I am here now. After some time again you question yourself. Am I here? And doing japa? Yes, I am here. Like that, if you go on questioning, you will remain. Otherwise, we forget ourselves and somewhere else you go. Mechanically, the japa will be going on, but I will not be there at all. So, that is why Holy Mother says, every now and then I have to get back to myself and hear that japa is going on within me. Consciously, with awareness, if you do it, what happens, it will generate a sort of devotional vibration within me. With full of consciousness, with full of awareness, if I am able to do the japa, it generates, raises a devotional vibration within me. I feel it, I can feel it. So that is why this mechanical, more than this mechanical, of course, it is not possible to do with japa constantly with full awareness. It becomes something mechanical, it's okay. Even mechanical japa also will have its own effect. Now, without doing anything, it is much better than without doing anything. At least, when you are doing japa, for half an hour or 1 hour you do the japa. And in between, you will be doing the japa for 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 5 minutes with full awareness, with full consciousness. Other times, we will not be able to remain in that particular state for a long time. Even for 5 minutes, if you are able to remain in that particular state of consciousness and awareness, that itself is a great achievement. So that is why thinking that, mechanical japa is not going to help me anymore, stopping that is not good. It's not going to help me in any way. So that is why I must be able to do japa. For example, if a prescribed time is there, I must for 1 hour morning, 1 hour evening, or something like that, according to your our own daily routine, etc. We have to fix, and during that fixed time, we have to sit quietly and do the japa, whether it is mechanical or no mechanical, dry or wet, whatever that may be. I must do that. Stick on to that. That itself is a great help for us. So that is why this japa has got its own effect in the mind. Then what happens, Ramana Maharshi says about the japa. He says, we'll go on doing the japa. It becomes so natural with us, and system is repeating the mantra. You don't repeat the mantra, system is repeating. And you just sit quietly and listen to it. Quietly listen to it. That japa is going on. Japa is going on. Mentally, not through ear. You hear it. Not allowing any other thoughts to interfere. My duty, my prayatna is only not to allow any thought to come in between. Japa, without prayatna, it goes on. Goes on. I just go on sitting quietly and listen to it. That is a wonderful state. That flow. That flow goes on. When we are able to listen to that constantly without allowing other thoughts, even if some other thoughts also just peep in and go, will not disturb me. We have to be very fully, with full awareness, intense awareness, one must sit like this. Then when the awareness of the light is there and always burning bright, light of awareness always burning bright, the thoughts will not rise. Thought will not rise. And there are three stages of japa, as you all know: vachika, upamsho, and manasika japa. Vachika means loudly repeating the mantra. When you are alone in your own room, nobody is there, nobody is there to listen, then you can do that. There is nothing wrong in that. Loudly repeat the mantra. Sometimes what happens when the emotion rises, different kinds of emotion rises, when you are able to control it, then repetition of the mantra loudly, it helps to control your emotions. So that is also very good, the vachika. And vachika, then is vachika. Then next is vachika. Vachika means, you don't loudly repeat it, you the parts of the mouth, will be moving. With the movement of the parts of the mouth, you will be repeating the mantra, not loudly. That is vachika. Then manasika. Manasika means no movements of the lips, no movements of the parts of the body. It is going on from within. But actually, when you are normally what is called manasika japa, it is going on here, in the throat. Larynx is working, the throat is functioning. When you are thinking also, deeply thinking also, you can feel the sensation here. If you closely observe, you can feel the sensation here. The words we are repeating in the larynx, in the kantha. It's called kantha. So, manasika japa is something still higher. Something still higher. Nothing is, no movement is there. No movement is there. No sensation is there. It simply goes on by itself. Who is repeating? I don't know. Who is repeating? I don't know. Nobody knows. It goes on by itself. That is manasika. And the mind is completely, fully involved in that. Now, in a ordinary state, if your mind is there, whether it is vachika or upamsho, vachika or upamsho or manasika, whatever that may be, it is manasika only. It is manasika. Mind must be there, that's all. Mind should not be somewhere else. Then it becomes manasika. Anyway, this is japa can be done in 3 ways. Only you should see that others will not hear that mantra, that's all. Swami Shivananda says, the name of Sri Ramakrishna is the mantra for this age. Name of Sri Ramakrishna is the mantra for this age. Those who take refuge in His name will attain peace. Those who take refuge in His name will attain peace. Chant His name with devotion. Tremendous power is hidden in His name. So you must have that faith in Sri Ramakrishna's name. That is Japa, mantra Japa. Mantra is given as Sri Ramakrishna mantra is given to you. Swami Brahmananda says, Japa, Japa, Japa. He says, again and again he says, Japa, Japa, do Japa, do Japa. When you are working also, do Japa. In the midst of all your activities, let this Japa continue. If you can do this, all your heart's agony will come to an end. Many sinners attained purification by taking refuge in the name of God. That means all our impurities, sins, all completely eliminated. Swami Adbhutanandaji says, Kama cannot come near Nama. All any desires, any kind of desires, impure desires, cannot come near Nama. When the Nama Japa is going on, and all those things, will disappear, will not come near to you. There is an attraction in a name. If the mind gets into that attraction, Kama would not be able to rise. Any desires, any worldly desires, any impure desires will rise. No, it will not rise. Name is the real thing. Name is the real thing. When the thinking of real is going on, there unreal cannot raise its head. So real thing is Nama Japa. When the Nama is going on constantly in the mind, there is no opportunity for any kind of worldly desires to arise in the mind. These are the important points to be noted as far as the Nama Japa is concerned. With these few words, I am concluding this speech. Thank you all. Namaste. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Satu Sri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.